Rock Television, backstage here at Voodoo. Once again, we seem to be making a habit of being in Voodoo recently, probably because it's staging a hell of a lot of classy gigs. And tonight, can't get much more classy than you ever British heavy metal legends Diamond Head making their return here to Belfast. Pleased to say, joined by the one and only Brian Tatler. Welcome back to Belfast.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. It's a new place for us tonight, Voodoo. I've been here before.
New venue, yeah. You promised that when you played here the last time that you would be back. It's good to see a band honouring a promise to come back.
Yeah, well, only just over a year later. That's unusual for us to come back so quickly. We normally try and give it a little breather, but while the new album's out and we're cooking, we may as well come and play to you good folks.
Yeah, we enjoyed it. I think you mentioned the new album. Here it is, the wonderful self-titled. Yeah, why did you go for a self-title this time?
Only because it just seemed the best title for the album. I went through lots and lots of titles. We had a big list. I asked everybody, and eventually Diamond Head was suggested, and I thought, okay, that's a good idea. And so I thought, well, we'll call it Diamond Head unless someone could come up with a really good title. And I didn't think any of the track titles fitted where we were at, this brief where we were trying to, what we were trying to say, how it was sounding, and it just did seem to fit. It's just quite a statement, but fortunately it's a good album and it seems to work. It seems to do the job.
Yeah, you said it's a statement. It's almost a statement of reinvention for the band because, of course, you actually weren't planning to do another album at this
That's right.
Really sure you weren't.
That's right. I mean, after the last album and our singer emigrated to Brisbane, it became very difficult to almost impossible to work on new material. And I didn't want to make an album over the internet, send up a file and sing on it and send it back. I didn't want to do that kind of record, so it kind of only came together once Rasmus joined in 2014 and we discussed making a new record, and we thought we'd at least make a start and just see how it goes.
Came together fairly quickly as well for you then, didn't it?
I was able to give Raz a lot of material because I keep writing at home, and so I built up 7 years worth of stuff, and Raz just went through it like a producer would and said, I like this and I like that and this needs a chorus, and
So how good was it for you to have a new creative energy then?
Well, very. It's really helped, and I don't think the album would be anything like as good if I didn't have that fresh pair of ears come along, and fresh ideas and the energy. He's a younger guy, so he's got more energy, and it just seemed to work. It might not have worked. Writing partnerships don't always work, but in our case it did, and I'm grateful.
It's been very, very well received. It must please you. I'm hearing words like resurgent and renascent and the rebirth of
lovely.
Diamond Head.
So
all these years.
The self-titles kind of
everything seems to have come full circle because there's a lot of comparisons being made to the original Diamond Head sound on this album as well.
I always thought that album, like To the Nations, it's kind of achieved some kind of legendary status, and almost you're never going to touch that. You're never going to get anywhere near that again. That was your peak. But a lot of people are loving the new album and saying it's sort of like the album you should have made after Borrowed Time. So that kind of compliment, it gives me a lot more confidence to know that we're doing the right thing, and to probably write more material, for the future.
So very much the band on the cusp of a new era.
Yeah, it feels good. Everyone's playing really well, and the band seems to be going down great and getting some good work. So the press has been fantastic for this new album. I wasn't expecting it, so it's been a real confidence boost.
Yeah. You recently as well, in my opinion, you played Bloodstock recently.
Yes, fabulous.
You went on after Twisted Sister on their last ever UK show, but you went on after them, so technically, to me, you guys headlined Bloodstock. How did it feel to play a festival like that?
Well, it's a great festival. It went really well for us. The sound was great, crowd was great. As long as the crowd's great, it doesn't matter. But we haven't played for years, and we did do it once before. But it's just nice to be offered it again. It's even like a Midlands gig for us. It's only in Derby, isn't it? So, great. We've been looking to do that festival for a number of years, and it just seemed to keep eluding us, but we nailed it this time.
So you're going out on a short run dates at the moment?
It's quite a long run. We go until December. We're off to America in November, and I think we've got probably nearly 30 dates there.
America. You really seem to have broken through on America on this.
Well, we've
run.
done. This will be our fourth kind of jaunt in the past 5 or 6 years. Yeah. So we do seem to get over there now, much more. I mean, we didn't in the early days. We should have been over there in 1980 and 1982, like some bands managed to get over. We couldn't get it together for one reason or another. But at least we're there now, and it's there's some fantastic gigs over in the States.
Can I mention the Metallica factor? Do you think that helps?
It's probably helped, doesn't it? I think that's only ever been good. I never see that as a negative. The Metallica. It's very flattering to be covered by a band anyway, but to be covered by such an important, massive band is it's helped keep us alive, really.
And they've always been very honest and very open and about the influence that your songs had on them.
Well, it's great. It's nice to be an influential band, and you can hear bits of Diamond Head on, in certain tracks on the first album. So great, it's been nothing but mega, really.
Would you love to tour with them?
Yeah, of course, absolutely. We seem to have done isolated festivals and things. I don't think they really have older bands as support bands. They kind of go with the new boys, whoever's up and coming and hot, rather than a nostalgia thing.
Do you ever look back over the Diamond Head career, and I'm thinking Iron Maiden have just announced a new tour today.
Oh, right.
It's 12 dates, and their first arena tour in UK arena tour in 7 years or something like that, and they're going back to playing the likes of Liverpool that they haven't played in 20 odd years. Do you ever look back and go, you look at the bands that you came out with the new wave of British heavy metal scene, like Maiden, like Saxon, I've had that enduring success, and go, why couldn't we be up there with Iron Maiden?
Well, because it's difficult, isn't it? There's only those 3 bands really that made it big, isn't there? Everybody else seemed to have struggled. So for every Iron Maiden, there's a Mithra, isn't there, and a Shiva, and bands that didn't become household names and sell 100 million records. So it is extremely difficult to do what Iron Maiden have done. And I've been trying for 40 years and I haven't managed it. So it's just tough. You can have everything in place, but you can still screw it up if you like.
There are fans who followed you from the very beginning. Personally, myself, I've followed your career from the very beginning. But also, you're attracting a new generation of fans. That's not the enduring appeal of heavy metal. It crosses generations, like no other music form that I know of.
It's very loyal.
Maybe the blues.
Very loyal. You do get, young kids come to see down there, check us out. Maybe you've heard the covers, maybe they've heard of us through Metallica, or just, some people like this style, this new wave of British heavy metal style, and
they're no nonsense approach, heads down.
It's called, riffs and good vocals, and it's great. It's amazing that this style is still going, really, and still got its fans.
So Diamond Head very much alive and kicking. Do you think there's a possibility 2017 might bring another album, or?
It's possible. We're going to start writing next year, in probably January, and we'll just see. Because it does take a while to write the album. That seems to take the longest, but we'll see. Hopefully, that's kind of ideal.
Diamond Head, brilliant new album, Uber Rock approved, of course. I must say, fantastic album. It's one of my favourite albums of the year.
That's very nice.
And great to see you back. And great to see you back in Belfast and honouring the promise that you've made us. Man, here's to seeing you next time. And here's to a great show tonight. Okay. This is Mark from Uber Rock. Keep her lit, keep her between the trees. And keep